Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual roundtable. First of all, I hope you're all well, safe, and healthy, no matter where you are at the moment. My name is Anna, and I'm the Program Manager of Executive Master International Business of ESCP Business School. It's an online, flexible Executive Master's degree designed for working professionals, adapted to all industry sectors, which you can study from anywhere in the world. The current situation that we are in at the moment has forced a lot of institutions now to pass to the online education. Is online education here to stay? What can we gain from that kind of experience? What is lost? What is gained? Who better to talk with me about that than our participants and professors of Executive Master International Business, and can share the experience we all share in common. So for a start, I would like you to introduce yourselves. I don't know, Alessandro, if you would like to start.
Yes, my name is Alessandro Testolin. I'm based in Paris, where I work for SEO International, a company producer of lenses. I'm there as a business analyst, and I joined the EMIB course in last January. I decided to join an online course because I want to have the freedom for my life. So I want to plan my life, and this is why I chose this very beautiful course.
Well, thank you, Alessandro. Jacqueline, would you like to share something about yourself?
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Kwok. I live in San Francisco, and I'm a lawyer at Airbnb. I decided to do this program for several reasons. One, I started out my career at a law firm, and then I didn't have any particular background in business, so I thought getting a business background would help me better communicate with my colleagues and work cross-functionally within Airbnb, which I thought was particularly exciting because I'm seeing how the company is growing or changing since it's still relatively young compared to a lot of other enterprises. I'm actually in the French course track of this program. That I studied French in high school and college. It was my dream to study abroad for a semester in France. That didn't work out, so I thought of this as a wonderful way to kind of study abroad virtually, which made this quarantine shelter in place with the current corona crisis a lot more bearable. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. I can't recommend this enough.
Well, thank you, Jacqueline. We'll talk more in details now later, especially now about all these things that the two of you have already mentioned. Federico, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Federico Dal Pozzo, coming from Italy, but I'm currently living in Dublin. It's been 2 years and a half in which I'm working in sales in Google. I moved recently to another role focusing mainly on startups in the Italian ecosystem. I'm actually about to end the EMIB program as it's been already 1 year and I finished all the exams, so I'm about to start my thesis. So I have quite full experience about what the program is, and I decided to join this program because I was looking for an executive education which allowed me to keep on working full time at the same time, and coming from a top business school. So I guess this was the perfect match about my needs, but I guess we will cover these in details later.
Thank you, Federico. Chantal?
Hello, everyone. My name is Chantal Zard. I'm currently based in Lille, France, and I'm enrolled in the EMIB program. I still have 4 courses to go. I have over 10 years experience in sales and operational marketing, mainly in the food and infant nutrition industry. Regarding my EMIB experience, I would like to cover it later on. I'll go into more details. But what's nice to know is that I started first, I joined it for an international marketing degree, and then I upgraded to the full master's program. So we'll talk about
so you started now slowly. You started with we offer also certificates and advanced certificate inside of this program, which can help people now to start with a smaller part of the program and later upgrade. We'll also talk about that now later. And our last participants, and then we'll switch to professors. Hamed, would you like to introduce yourself?
Last but not least, thanks, Anna. Hi everyone. Hamed here. I basically am placed in Zurich, Switzerland, very close to Zurich. I work with GE Power. Coming from an engineering background, I work on basically upgrading very old power plants with the latest state-of-the-art technology. I have projects globally, so therefore, one of the main reasons for me to be able to, to continue my education was that I definitely wanted a business school or a university for that matter that could provide me the flexibility and also could help me as an engineer to basically get better, reducing the gap on my resume on commercial side, on basically, on finances. And I found this program, it was flexible enough for me to start right away. And then I decided to actually start. So I started in January and I have one more term to go.
Well, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Howard, for the introduction. And now I would like to introduce our two professors who are with us, and later another professor is going to join us. With us are also EMIB professors to share that part of the story. No? So Professor Clark and Professor Byrne, if you can just shortly introduce yourselves.
Who goes first? Is it age before beauty?
Age
Yes.
before beauty.
Well, then I'm the age then. Okay. Well, very happy to be here, and I'm associate professor of ESCP at Madrid campus, although I do invest in time and effort in other campuses. And my subjects, which I'm absolutely enamored with, is international negotiation and cross-cultural management. So,
and hi everybody, nice to meet you, if only virtually. My name's Justin Byrne. I'm an assistant professor in the management department at ESC Business School Madrid campus, although I'm originally from London. And I also share Diana's passion for cross-cultural or intercultural communication and management. That's my field of interest.
Well, thank you for joining. That's why we love to have you here, because apart from being an online program and very flexible, this program is full of people from all over the world. It's very multicultural, and we will also talk a little bit about that later. At this moment, I would like to invite all of you who are here with us and listening us to use the questions or chat to ask questions that we will read and go through during the webinar. And if you wish for a start, we are very curious. You can write in the chat where are you connecting from, so we know a little bit about you too. And before we start with the first topic, we would like to show you a short video for you to get a better idea of what this program is about, and what does it offer. So we'll look at the video, and after that we are back with our first topic and first discussions.
%100% online.
English or French?
Flexibility.
Anywhere, anytime.
Best faculty.
Active learning.
Multicultural environment.
Professional development.
Innovative.
Inclusive and intellectually stimulating.
International.
Unique.
The Executive Master in International Business has been a complete revolution for ESCP Europe.
So I was really looking for a program that will allow me to develop my managerial skills from a very holistic perspective. And when I first saw the curricula, I was like, this will really give me all of those fundamentals that I'm looking for.
If there's one dimension that actually qualifies this program, it's its diversity. We are a hub of diversity itself.
The added value of this program was quite big, because I know I can evolve in the company I'm working right now in different fields. I wanted to make sure I could still focus on my career and work, keeping all the flexibility.
gained a lot of insights in terms of strategy, business planning, and these tools are helping me on my daily activity.
In this Executive Master, we developed the required skills for strategic and international management areas of a company trading in international markets. One of the key assets of this program is that you can design your own learning path in the language that you want.
The professors are very available for us, and they also enjoy sending us newspapers, so to give the extra mile for us to better understand our courses.
The quality is unbeatable. They are very experienced professors who are experts in their various areas.
In spite of being an online program, the level of interaction is very, very high. What I really love is the fact that you get plenty of feedback about each assignment, and that allows you to also see the applicability of what you do into your day-to-day job.
I will highly, truly recommend this program and this business school to my friends and my colleagues. Actually, I already did.
I can definitely say that I'm becoming a more rounded professional due to all of the knowledge that I'm acquiring in the courses.
So this program has changed my life, changed my way of seeing things. I see big now.
Well, thank you for sharing this video. This is, for example, one of the experiences our participants had and shared with us on one of our on-site seminars. So we wanted to share that with you before starting our first topic. Our first topic is the general one. Let's start now with the general and continue later. So just to start, if I can ask our participants and later professors, by your opinion, if someone decides to come to an online world, in the world of online education, what exactly is that person gaining? What is lost, maybe? Is that experience similar, same? Can it be, substituted to face-to-face? What are your experiences so far? What is your opinion about that? Maybe Jacqueline, you could start, and then we will continue.
Yeah, so ESCP EMIB program is actually the third online program I participated in. I've done a 3-month business certificate with Harvard Business School online, and also a 350, that was about 350 hours. And I did another 350-hour program with Duke for digital media marketing. And when I first signed up for online programs, I was thinking credibility, reputation is probably not as strong as an on-site program, but this will give me flexibility and it's significantly cheaper. I'm from the US. Tuition for college is about $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And my concern was, I wasn't so much worried about discipline. I'm relatively self-motivated. I enjoy learning, but I was concerned about interaction with my professors and peers. How much will this actually feel like a school experience versus just reading something by myself? I did enjoy my programs with Harvard and Duke. I learned a lot, but I found ESCP provided so much more. So I can talk about the pro about flexible timing more for the second question, but ESCP assuaged any anxiety I had about reputation and credibility. ESCP is one of the best business schools in the world, and while I understand that online education is comparatively new, so people tend to accord more value to like an on-campus program, I do firmly believe online education is the future as things get increasingly digitized, and this COVID situation has really accelerated this as a lot of on-campus programs have been switching to online, and ESCP already having established itself in this domain is really at the forefront of this technical digital revolution. As I mentioned, I was a bit concerned about lack of interaction with professors and colleagues, and For my other two programs, I did have some interaction, but it was very much more of an isolated experience. But ESCP, I'm astounded by how responsive the professors are. I have not gotten email responses half as quickly from my professors when I was on campus in the same time zone. I don't know how the professors manage this. I really, really appreciate it. I feel like I'm there. There's a large number of webinars and that are scheduled at various times to accommodate different time zones that you can participate in. And it being a bit difficult for me because I'm in the US to participate in those webinars, I really appreciate that they're recorded so I'm able to view them afterwards and feel like I'm still there. A lot of the projects that we work on are group projects, so it's been extremely enriching to work with people from all over the world, people who are native French speakers and can really teach me about syntax and style as well, people who, like me, don't speak French natively but are learning it and have achieved a relative degree of proficiency. So it's fun to see like what other aspects they bring from their culture, their writing style, their business and career background. So I think the networking opportunities here are incredible. And in terms of disciplines, I appreciate how ESCP kind of structures everything. So you have like an overall deadline, like you have a certain unit that opens up for a couple of weeks, but you're able to schedule things around your own time during those couple of weeks. So that helps keep me on track. It gives me good visibility into what things will look like in the coming month. And it's just very, very close to an like on-campus experience, and I feel very connected and very involved.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. I believe you've touched a lot of important stuff, no, that online education in general can bring to you, plus some extra stuff that can be done that people who are all over the world, all over the place with their routines, how can they feel now that they belong to something, or they're part of a cohort, of a group of students? Hamed, I would like to hear your opinion now.
So I just want to add one or 2 points to what Jacqueline said, because she pretty much covered whatever I had in mind. But just to basically add to her thoughts, I think one fear I had was sense of no inclusion. But then I came to realize this is a temporary feeling, because once you actually start an online business school, you actually realize it's not the business school running the show, it's not the professors running the show. You actually, as a student, you are running the show. You are deciding what kind of, let's say, what way you want to go and how you want to continue your education and fill the gaps in your professional world. And this was a possibility I could basically see. So I wouldn't really say this was a negative thing, but when I started, this was definitely something I wanted, to address for myself. On what's gained, again, Jacqueline mentioned it all, and I completely agree with her. Something in addition to that, what I would like to mention is access to top-tier education and professors, depending where you're located, could be limited. Online education does provide that accessibility. I mean, we all work for, most probably we work for global international companies. We will have subject matter experts for me as an engineer who are placed elsewhere in the world. Even now in my current job, if I want to go and get educated on certain topic, I still have to get on my phone and reach out to those people. And there is no difference when you do a business school education in our case. So I think it's a great thing that you actually do not need to stop your job and travel across the continent or to another country to be able to access a knowledge base that might not necessarily be available where you currently are.
Thank you, Hamed. Yes, one of the important things, what can be gained by online education is definitely the accessibility. That now you can choose what you want, the program that you want, no matter your location or your plans for the future. Alessandro, would you like to add something maybe to this question?
Yes, thank you, Anna. I completely agree with Ahmed and Jacqueline about the online program. At the beginning, to tell the truth, I was in the middle between an online program or a part-time program. But at the end, I decided to join EMIB because I think that the online, as I say in the introduction, give you the opportunity to plan your life accordingly. So basically you can stop work and then you can start with the university, or you can decide to study during the weekend. And I think that is really a good opportunity that you cannot have with on-site program. What you gain in an online program for sure is the opportunity to meet really a lot of people from all over the world. And because, for instance, we used to work in a group during the EMIB courses, and in the last group I was with a guy living in US. So I mean, I'm based in France and work with a guy living in US. I think that this an on-site program, I think that you cannot give you this opportunity. And so this is why I think that the online is the future, because I think that now the world is moving more and more into the online, and we need to be ready to switch these new opportunities. I would like also to tell a little bit a story about this, because it's true that you can meet people all over the world, but it's also true that I was in a group for marketing in the last term, and I met a woman that she told me that she was based in Paris. Then we started to talk, and I realized that she's living in the same street of me. So we met for the first time last week for a coffee. So I mean, it's true that you can meet people all over the world, but it's also true that at the end the world is a little world. We live in a little world, and yeah, this is and I think that the online program is really a good opportunity indeed to meet a lot of people over the world for the different culture, different languages, different time zone. And I think that is a really a good point, a good positive point for my personal increase in my life.
Thank you, Alessandro. That's well, you see, so you can maybe meet people from Australia too, or Singapore, or US, or Peru, but maybe you meet people also who live in the same street, also possible. Thank you. Maybe we finish the first topic with Federico, and then the second topic we'll start with Chantal. So Federico, please tell us.
If I can only add on this, I guess they all covered all the main points about e-learning. And one main point that came out at the end, especially with Alessandro, but also Ahmed, and Jacqueline is the perfect example actually, is the accessibility, but also the kind of the e-learning, the learning online we are doing makes the learning more democratic in some ways. So if I think, for example, talking about Italy, where all the main universities are based in the north, so all the people who want to have a really high education are always forced to move to the north of the country, affording from one side the fees of the universities, and the other side the spending of living in a new place, moving at a new place. So it's pretty expensive in some ways. And in this way, from all over the world, from your birthplace or the place you are based right now, as Jacqueline or all of us actually can have access to this top education.
Yes, I think you believe that's a very important topic. So thank you. We will now switch to the second topic, and our third professor has arrived. So we'll also hear him a little bit later. So let's start with the second topic. So you all said now what you were saying about what's advantages or of online learning. You all agree that flexibility is a big part of it, or one of the main reasons why you've chosen this program. Sounds wonderful, right? Sounds amazing that you can study at your own pace, at your own time, that you can, for example, in EMIB, you can design your own workload by choosing the number of courses per term. All that sounds wonderful, but of course, even though there are some regulations, obviously, and deadlines that Jacqueline has mentioned that kind of keep you, keep you up the pace. A lot of things are depend now on you. A lot of things depend on participant. How do you manage all that? How do you manage your personal life, your work life, your family life with studies? Even though they're flexible, they're very flexible, that's why they're there, but they're still there. No, you still have to do some things and respect some deadlines. For that, I would like first of all Chantal to tell us a little bit about that. For example, you have children, you have family, so you have family life, you have home office, so you have to work, you're studying. So I'm really curious, how do you manage all that? Or how did you manage in the last year to work with all that?
Well, to tell you the truth, this was the main reason why last year, April last year, I joined the program for a degree in international marketing, not for the full master's. Because at the time, my objective was first to have an online education. It was impossible for me to attend traditional classroom on campus courses with my family obligations and constraints. I wanted a reputable, prestigious institution, which is ESCP, but at the same time, a highly credible degree. And so when I saw that it was only 4 courses, you just progress according to your time, it helped me in choosing this international degree in marketing. With time,
what has make you to decide to do an upgrade? So you started with a certificate, international marketing, which are 4 courses, so less, and a good start, to see if maybe online education is for you, etc. What made you upgrade, to advanced and then later to the full degree?
Well, here I would maybe talk about 2 aspects. One, my career plan changed. I have a new entrepreneurship project, which needs much more. I would say I need more courses or more experience in different topics, being strategy, being innovation, entrepreneurship, big data, all these that will be covered in the full master's program. So this is a good aspect. And the other aspect was, as you mentioned, the fact that I tried this online learning, the way it was given, the different courses, I really enjoyed the way they were given at my own pace. I understood that with proper time management, with proper self motivation and the way you regulate your time and schedule, you can continue further with more classes. And this is why I opted for the full master's. And the good thing here to highlight is that even the program is very flexible, because the way the courses are given for the degree are the same as they are given for the full master's. So there is no difference in the way the courses are taught. And the key aspect is to control your learning environment, the schedule, and to be well organized. This is how I would highlight it. And maybe that's it.
Thank you, Chantal. I would like to maybe hear a little bit more from professor side. So I have a question for our professor Javier Sanchez Verdasco, who is our professor in 2 subjects in Executive Master in International Business. Those are finance subjects. So is professor here with us? Let's wait a little bit. I've seen him on the list. If not, we'll then change. Ah, there you are. Hello, Professor.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Well, I'm not going to give you my opinion as a professor now, later. I'm going to give you my opinion as a student, right? Because I periodically study, and that's for 2 reasons. I go to some programs to learn more, but also to learn how to teach, because I get inputs from other very good professors that are very specialized in some subjects, right? So like 1.5 years ago, I took an advanced valuation, very specialized finance course. And then my experience as a student is that it's great. It's similar to our EMIB programs in the methodology, but you know, in that occasion, I was a student, not a professor. And that for me, it's great because there is no way that I can get the concepts and the so high-level concepts that they teach in advanced valuation for the probably the most recognized professor in the world. If I had to go to New York, right? So I'm doing in Spain, and I can study at 12 o'clock, and 2 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I can send my my task at the time I want. So the e-learning approach is great because it's very flexible, right? And some of you, some of the students told other things like, you know, it's cheaper from the point of view of not having to have a residence in the place, not to spend money in, and you learn the same. You know, if the professor is very good, and if the program is very well done, and the professor has a lot of experience to translate what he's teaching, you know, on site, what teaching in e-learning, probably the student is not losing, well, probably is losing the contact, right? But I think the advantages are higher than the disadvantages, right? Having said that, I'm going to give you my opinion as a professor. All right.
I'm quite curious how, because you're one of our best graded professors. For me, I'm quite curious, how do you manage transfer knowledge, on finance in those two subjects to that many people who you maybe never see face to face, or you occasionally see them, it can happen,
Yes.
but they're not there, they're not there with you.
Yes, well, that's very difficult because 5 years ago, when you know, the school ESCP proposed me to start teaching e-learning, I said, not impossible. Finance is not possible to be, you know, to teach finance, geography, history, whatever else thing, marketing, human resources, yes, but not finance, because you know it includes some type of mathematical and numerical question, and I know that in a class, in a presential class, is difficult, and I know when the student is going to have problems with that concept. And the key, I think, is to split the content in several parts and to explain things much better. So for a professor, the effort teaching e-learning is double or triple the one you have to make when you are teaching in presential. So at the end is good feedbacks, right? And I think is a good tool to propose the students to learn by themselves. The professor is the one that is teaching. The professor only conducts, lead the process in such a way that through the tasks, the students can learn by themselves and ask any questions they might have to the professor. So I would say that the experience is try to reproduce your class in the learning content, in the videos, and in slides, and in the homework. And then just, I think another aspect very important is to be pending of all the questions that the students are making to you, right? And answer them as soon as possible, right? So.
Well, thank you, Professor. Yes, so a lot of students, and Jacqueline has mentioned in the beginning that they appreciate a lot the quick reactions of Professor, and that doesn't stop their learning path. They don't have breaks or long breaks in, okay, I don't know the answer to this question, so I have to stop and wait. So so thank you very much for giving your time and dedication to this program. That's why this program is also the way it is. Alessandro, would you like to add something? You have recently if I'm not wrong, posted your experience about a course in digital marketing, where you were talking a little bit now about your experience. How is it to study online and to adapt all these things to that? Would you like to share that a little bit with us?
Yes. What I love from the EMIB program is the way that they used to teach us. Is saying that is learning by doing. This kind of words that EMIB used to use. And I
What
think
does
that
that
it's
mean for
really.
you? I'm quite curious. We hear that now, learning by doing. I hear that a lot, no? So what does that mean for you? So you experience now, you have several terms, no? You've done several courses. So now reflecting on those courses, what would you say it's learning by doing that you did in those courses? Maybe to give something to the people who are listening to us a little bit more.
Yeah, learning by doing for me, I mean, it means that basically you are learning, but doing something that you can easily put in place in the moment that you arrive at work. For instance, yesterday I had a task for negotiation, and today I had a talk with a friend of mine, and we talk about how to negotiate, and we talk and we say our opinion in the way that the best way to negotiate. I think that this kind of way that EMIB used to teach us is very good, is that you can really put in practice what you learn and the day after, immediately. For instance, the Prof. Verdasco was talking about the different finance courses, and where we talk about the loan, where we talk about different calculation, and it's something that we can touch on a daily basis, in our daily life. So it's not something that you study and then the day after you say, "Bye, I don't care because it's not useful." No, it's something that you study and that probably the day after you need it. So it's I love this way that EMIB uses, and I think that is really helpful for the work, in a daily activities. And so this is why I'm feeling proud to be part of this program, because I'm really learning a lot. But more than learning, I'm putting in practice what I'm studying. That is not so common for a program, I think.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that all those things are useful for you, in your everyday work. You work in the health sector, so obviously a lot of stuff can be, even though all of you are from different sectors, that can be implemented now in different. I would just like to share a few comments that I'm receiving in chat, because we didn't touch them. First of all, we have people from a lot of places, from Europe, to Dubai, US, Russia. I see Russia, so hello to everyone. I see also one of the frequent questions is about workload. So a lot of you are asking about how much time do I have to dedicate if I want to finish it in 2 years, if I want to finish it in 1 year, and 3. That is going to be decided, and you are going to decide that by the number of courses you're going to take per term. You can count that each course needs some 2 to 3 hours of dedication per week. So that can be your guide in order to to plan your studies and the time that you can dedicate. Other questions we will touch at the end. I just wanted to let you know that we are reading them and reading your comments. So you, Alessandro, touched now, and you made a good introduction to our third topic, which is also one of the frequent questions that I'm asked. For example, how do you develop skills in an online environment? You mentioned negotiation, which is happening now in this term. So all of you who are currently in negotiation soon, or you've already had negotiation practices with the professors. So that's one of the practical things we have in the program. And for example, every program now has some kind of soft skills inside. So here, for example, we have leadership, we have negotiation, we have cross-cultural management. So I would like to ask our professor, Diana Clark, if she can share a little bit her experience with teaching or developing or coaching skills in an online environment. What's your experience? How it's been so far? And how do you do it? That's also I think something that.
Well, I was smiling. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. I was smiling before. It's something that what Javier was saying, because all teachers, when they're first proposed to do an online course, they say, over my dead body, it won't work. All right. And then it can, but it means that you have to completely flip your mind and think of structuring things differently and really filtering a lot and going to the essence. It requires thinking, what is the best way that it's going to be received, and how is it going to be an experience for the other part? And I do agree also with Javier that it requires a lot more work. But I think this is good. I think what is the real challenge for a professor, a teacher, a trainer, when they go online, is that you miss your audience. You really do. I mean, professors, teachers, we get our energy in the classroom. It's amazing, you know, when you bounce off an idea, and we get a lot of direct feedback of, you know, body energy from students, and of course this is something that you have to get used to not having. You have to deploy a huge amount of energy, and there's nobody there. You know, there's a sort of there's a delay in getting that feedback, and there's a delay in getting that response. So I think this is something that all teachers have to get used to, and still invest a huge amount of energy and enthusiasm, even though there's nobody there in front of them. That I think that's really important. So I think that would be going into the downside. And I think you need to have a good storyline that makes sense. And I think you have to invest effort, time, and affection in the feedback that you give. You know, people want that, they need it, and they need to see the sense. They don't want either to feel the same experience that professors feel of having nobody there. You know, that you're like sending a message in a bottle. You know, which I think that sometimes you can get. You know, when there's nobody there and you're sending messages, and you think like it's like being on a desert island sending messages in a bottle. So we have to work a lot on creating virtual communities, not just giving out a lot of information. And I'm just picking up on something that Alessandro said, that for him, learn by doing is being able to apply things practically. And I think that is absolutely true. But what does it mean? It means that, and this is something that I think that online allows to do, because you're the ones that have to be doing a lot of things. You're the one, over 80% of the time, you are the owners. Hamid said that as well. You are the owners of the learning process. Having said that, it's not easy for either. Sometimes it's isolation. I'm sure that it can be felt, and not being able to get hold of your professor or your teacher or another student or a colleague that you're doing an assignment together with. It can be very frustrating when you're working from different time zones. But having said this, this is part of the learning experience. And I don't know if I missed the question completely. Tell me if I'm missing something there.
No, excellent points. I would just like to emphasize maybe a little bit more, as you are teaching cross-cultural management, and this is a very multicultural program, and negotiation that is very practical. It's a soft skill that you need to train. You cannot just read books and never feel it. So maybe and I have another question now after your what you said is, do you get some kind of good energy from students even in a virtual world? You said when you're producing, when you're making the content, there's no one there, no? So there's no that energy, but maybe it's delayed, no, or it comes later, or once they're studying and discovering the things that you've already prepared. Is it maybe after that hard work you can maybe no focus only on feedback. No, you don't need to focus on giving that content anymore that much. Is it worth it? How do you feel when you receive comments from and especially in those kind of soft skills where people are commenting a lot? There are a lot of debates. They share their own personal experiences. How is it, to have all that in a virtual world?
Well, in fact, and I'll just pass the word to Justin, because he's a sort of he's a recent convert. Okay, he's a recent convert. He's one of those who said, I don't know how this is going to work online. I don't quite believe in it. How do you make this work without the students being there? And in fact, I think, and surveys show this, that in general, we've done surveys, we have data, we have statistics, and it just so happens that now students are getting more personalized feedback from their teachers than they did before. And this is a fact. And I mean, I know it just because of the time that I spend as well. You do establish a connection. When you start writing to each other, you do establish a connection and you give feedback. The forums is very important to be there and to comment on the inputs and to comment in real time to make it as quickly as possible. I completely agree with what I've heard with the students. You need to get feedback quickly. You need to have forums dynamized in a way that things are not sort of stagnating in the forum, that you have people pick up the ideas, comment them, throw them back, so that there's this feeling of dynamics, like a classroom, where in real time you're getting people to comment on each other's input and say, well, I don't agree, well, I do agree, well, I would like to add this. So I think that that you have to be there, and as I said, statistics show it can work. I don't know, Justin, if it'd be a good idea to ask him, as he's a sort of a recent convert and has passed over to what he used to call before the dark side. Now he's
Justin, if you can tell us a little bit, how is it on the dark side? And if you can comment a little bit now that you've passed several terms with us and you've virtually met a lot of our participants from last year, this year. How is it for you?
The dark side
maybe you can tell a little bit more about multiculturality that you encountered.
Yeah, I think the dark side is the new bright side. As Diana was saying, I've been teaching face-to-face for 30 years and only have gone online in a couple of years, and I was a skeptic. And now I'm completely converted to online teaching. I think as a teacher, from my perspective, one of the things I like about it is I think it's the most avant-garde and well thought out pedagogical design which I've encountered in my career. And you should know that the model of the EMIB is now what we're using as the model for adapting all our courses. The bachelor's program, our very prestigious Master in Management. In the Madrid campus, we're going online in order to adapt to the COVID-19 circumstances, and the EMIB really is our model. And I just find it fascinating as a teaching exercise. Absolutely counterintuitively, as Diana was saying, it's not what you'd think, but I believe that I give more personalized feedback to my students on online classes, through forums, through feedback on their assignments, than they would probably get in a classroom setting. And I have more time to think about it, and they have more time to think about their interventions. So I think the quality is better. Yesterday or the day before, I was negotiating with Alessandro, who's here with us. We spent an hour with Alessandro and Path doing a practice at simulation of negotiation. And that, I don't have that time for my students in a normal presential face-to-face setting. So I am completely won over to it. One thing which I think no one's really mentioned, I do think, again, one of the attractions for me for teaching on the EMIB is teaching to such diverse students, has been mentioned, work from different countries, living in other countries in many cases, working in all sorts of sectors. But also, and I think this maybe is a prerequisite for success for a student, is they're extremely motivated. And I do think I like Hamed's point about students taking ownership of their training and development, and I do believe they do. It does give them another level of autonomy, and it's important that they do that. But I think you do have to be motivated to you maybe receive less because of the energy which Diana was talking about. As a professor, you don't get the same energy, perhaps also that motivating role of professors in the classroom is lost. It's done in a different way through the forums. But I would guess as a student, for it to be successful, you have to be particularly motivated. And on the EMIB, they are, from my experience. And even though I've had very limited face-to-face time on screen with students, I actually feel that many of them, I sort of know who they are in a way which doesn't happen with students in the classroom, because of I really think, excellent way that the courses are structured and built, and it provides these opportunities which, as a professor, are extremely satisfying.
Thank you, Justin. This is an amazing overview that you have done to close the topic 4 and start the topic 5, which I will connect with a question that we received in the chat, which is, I believe, also important and can help a little bit. Our last topic is about virtual networking, or better to say, so we've tackled a little bit, flexibility and all these advantages of online learning. But what for example, people ask me a lot when they're interested in this program is, do people network? Do they know each other? No, is there anyone there? Basically, and other stuff. I would add, and would like to finish with all our participants, apart from the question, is virtual networking possible? What is your experience so far? Because some of you are at the end, some of you are in the middle. And I'm quite curious if you can say a little bit how it was recognized inside of your companies, or what comments did your company have, because I believe that a lot of people are very interested in that. What do they gain from this degree, apart from the knowledge and all the things that we are talking? Have you felt any kind of recognition or anything similar? That would be also nice to comment. Federico, I would like to start with you for several reasons. One is that you're almost at the end of your journey. You have finished all the courses, and now you're in the process of master thesis. And you're also the person who has designed and implemented a networking channel for this program. So we have started with that. Things are moving. We have people from all over the world. Could you tell us a little bit about all that?
Yeah, Anna. Okay, answering to your question, first of all, focusing on the networking part, I feel like it's pretty important also to remind us that this is an executive education. So I'm pretty sure that people who are aiming to join this community or about to apply to this course are also looking for networking opportunities. Networking is something I also, when I had to choose about different courses I was considering more than 1 year ago, the networking part was one of my concern about this program, because I want to do an executive education. It's not a normal master, so I want to connect with executives, I want to connect with people. And I also feel that the period we are living right now, which we are kind of forced to live our smart working experiences for the first time, and to connect to each other for the first time using our laptops and phones, and as also Hamed was mentioning at the beginning, in some ways showed us that virtual networking is possible. It's possible also if is in some way structured. That's also why first of all, I feel like there are a lot of opportunities within the course right now to connect with other people. As we said before, there are teamworks, so chances to know all the other participants. There are chats inside the platforms and things like this. But what actually was missing since a few weeks ago actually was a really dedicated channel in which people were able are able actually to interact with each other and share business experiences and promote their network in order to proceed in their own careers. That's why also, as Anna, you were saying, we decided to launch this new platform which has exactly those kind of goals to put us in a connection which is a business connection, so not relating to the learning side but more about the business sides, in which there are channels, for example, in which I can explain which is my core business, which is my job, or in order to promote my services or my products, or on the other ways, if I'm looking for another job opportunities, in which I can talk with other people who are working in other companies and referring me, or talking about the experience in that company. So yeah, networking is absolutely important. It's something you have to look at if you are looking for an executive education, and it's something we are covering at this stage also with this kind of course.
Thank you, Federico. I have a question for Hamed. Hamed, what do you think? Is it possible to well, networking, no virtual networking or face-to-face networking? Is it possible to meet, connect, work with people, and maybe to construct the same level of trust, no, as you would maybe construct with a person who you would meet face-to-face? What is your experience so far?
I guess if you would have asked me that question previous to COVID situation, I might have given you a different answer. But I think besides the negative points of COVID, a number of positive points were that it taught us how we can actually work from home, how we can network. Relating to my own work, I mean, I'm basically part of a, I hold a global role, and I have to lead a team of multiple people across different locations, and the customer that I work with is in China. So co-location basically is a very important thing, but it does not, let's say, you know, it's not really comparable to actually you wanting to be. I mean, the situation for me would have been I should have taken my family and I should have actually moved to China to be close to customer. Or if a major topic pops up, I had to actually fly to India, to Mexico, to US, to France, different places, just to be next to the team that I work with. But relating back to my work, it's actually I've been in this role for 2.5 years, and I've been doing great. I mean, I can still network with people. I can get in touch with them and talk with them. I can basically ask how they're doing, and I think it's all about your character as a person and how you are ready to adapt, right? If you want to improve, if you want to get a simple task done these days, you gotta do networking. I would love to go somewhere, sit over a drink with my colleagues, you know, and talk about it and talk about some problems, or go and have coffees, but I have had more virtual coffees in the past 2 or 3 months, more than I ever had actual coffee with some of my colleagues. And things are working great. I mean, I know every single person who's on this panel today. We've been talking, we've been engaging, we know about each other, we know how we're doing and what we're doing. So it's about establishing, let's say, a basic intuition on how you actually want to approach people, how you want to win people over, right? And I think that's easily possible. You just have to be open to it. You just need to acknowledge that I have, let's say, a situation as such, and I just need to reach out to people and ask how they're doing. And then, of course, you go by your day-to-day business. To answer your question in summary, yes, I strongly believe in networking, and I think our businesses these days, just when you go off this webinar, reflect on your own current professional working and life environment, see how much of your daily activities and your professional activities are actually done virtually. Sitting in an office is not what gets your job done. You actually connect over telephone, over emails, over different mediums with your other colleagues, with your extended team, and that's how you actually deliver to your customers today.
So thank you, Hamad. We are now approaching to our end of our hour, so we are not going to tackle this topic more. I've received a lot of questions on the chat. There is a lot of them. Some of them, if you wish, please send me an email. A lot of them are frequently asked questions that I can ask about details of the subjects, what's the difference with an MBA, etc. So please feel free to send me an email. And another thing, for all the people who are with us and stayed at the end, we have a surprise for you. So tomorrow you will receive an email with a special code for additional discount for this program if you decide to enroll. At this moment, we are offering 15% of discount for all the people who will enroll until the end of June for the September intake. But if you have attended and listened to this webinar, you will get an additional discount, which the code is going to be sent to your email, and when you enroll, you can quote that code. I wish to thank all of you for coming here, for sharing your experiences, especially professors. Thank you very much. I know you were very busy, and you're even more busy now in the online world. Thank you very much. I have met some of you in person, but some of you I haven't. But I'm also, I would say, the connection I have with you is also one of the proofs that virtually it's very possible now to get similar experience as face-to-face. Well, thank you. I hope that people who were with us in this webinar will contact me. Please use either phone or email, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and see you on our virtual campus.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.